seriously, that's it?
What?
That's your opening sentence. Man, look, I just got out of quarantine. I've been in there for 2 weeks. You are falling apart without me.
I definitely wouldn't say that I'm falling apart without you. I welcome the audience to the buzz. I said my name. That's a perfectly fine opening line. What more do you want from me?
There's no hello. There's no spectacular puns that are totally funny and deserve laughs. There's no silly shenanigans going on or anything like that.
Like I said, perfectly fine.
Sure it is, you nervous wreck. Sure it is.
He's only been here for a few minutes and he's already getting on my last nerve.
It's my specialty.
Anyway.
Are you wearing a coat today? It's cold outside.
We have a bunch of Mardi Gras themed segments coming up. While we can't celebrate Mardi Gras the normal way, we're going to delve into the history of Mardi Gras.
Did you just say delve?
Yes, it means to dig.
What? Why didn't you just say, dig?
Because, Jackson, delve sounded nicer.
Sounds like you're just trying to show off some fancy vocabulary word. Are you trying to show me backsass?
Jackson, are you actually going to contribute anything to this introduction? Or are you just going to comment on every single word that I say?
As tempting as it is, just to comment, I would also like to add that Megan will be leading a tutorial on how to make Mardi Gras, the little bead dogs. It's a fun little thing to do with their leftover Mardi Gras beads. Also, under my house, my rules.
What? Me and Megan will also be talking about the history of all-women crews, such as the crew of Nix and Muses, a couple of favorite parades in New Orleans.
And, of course, what episode would we have if we didn't have Toby's Friends with Megan? Stay tuned for these segments coming up.
What kind of ending sentence is that?
Did you leave your shoes outside? New Orleans is famous for many things. I mean, the food, the amazing parties, the luxurious and rich history, and of course, you know exactly what we did. You know exactly what we did. We took all those amazing little things, we bundled up, we slapped a name on it and called it Mardi Gras. Or did we? Now you see, Mardi Gras is a very popular holiday, known all across the world, but it holds a very special place in the hearts of New Orleans residents. I mean, why wouldn't it? But actually, the origins of Mardi Gras are traced back to medieval Europe in the 17th and 18th centuries. It was called Boeuf Gras, or fatted calf in French. On March 2nd, 1699, a French-Canadian, technically a Cajun, but you're not ready for that conversation, man named Jean-Baptiste Le Monnier de Benneville. Jeez, man, you're trying to kill me or something? What a mouthful. Named a plot of land that is directly 60 miles south of New Orleans. Pointe de Mardi Gras. You see, the reason why they called it this is because he and his men realized it was the eve of the festival holiday of Boeuf Gras, which is why he named it that, in remembrance of the holiday. Kinda uncreative, man. He also established Fort Louis de la Louisiana, which is now known as Mobile, Alabama, in 1702. And then in 1703, in the tiny settlement of Fort Louis de la Mobile, they celebrated America's first ever Mardi Gras. Gasp, blasphemy, screams from the backstage. Yep, you heard it here first. The first Mardi Gras was actually not in New Orleans. Blasphemy! No, that isn't true, but it is! Then in 1704, the first ever crew was created, though back then it was, known as a secret society because we wanted to be fancy and different. Well, that secret society was called Mas de la Mobile because fancy and sophisticated. This lasted until 1709, and then in 1710, the Boeuf Gras Society began parading. This lasted from 1711 through 1861. The first parade rolled down the street with a giant bullhead that was held up by 16 men. Later on, the parade Rex marched with an actual bull that was draped in white, and it signaled the coming Lent meat fast. Honestly, a better choice than having 16 dudes forced to carry around a giant bull skull. I can understand why you made the choice. This happened, of course, on Fat Tuesday. New Orleans was established in 1718, and by the 1730s, Mardi Gras was being celebrated in New Orleans, though it isn't much like the parades we see today. In fact, it was much different. It was mostly elegant society balls because sophisticated and fabulous. And this became the model for Mardi Gras balls we know today. You know, the fancy ones where everybody gets together and they're all happy. It wasn't until 1781 when Mardi Gras was referenced as Carnival. That year, the Preservance Benevolent and Mutual Aid Association, again with these names, was the first of hundreds of clubs and carnival organizations formed in New Orleans. It wasn't until the late 1830s when similar parades as today began to ride. Processions of maskers with decorated carriages and horseback riders filled the streets in celebration of Mardi Gras. Gaslit torches known as flambeaux lit the way for the processions. In the 1870, the first ever Mardi Gras throw came about. Then, the newspapers began to announce upcoming Mardi Gras events as everyone was looking forward to these awesome festivities. They even began a special carnival edition for the fantastic float designs. Though this was after, Mardi Gras already come and went because the float designs were top secret. But besides the point, the floats began to take their modern day beauty and color in 1886 with costume designs by Charlotte Bencase, Charles Britton, and B.A. Wiltstorm. Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? The floats were then brought even more alive by the talented papier-mâché artist George Sully, who went on for 40 years to create the floats and the costumes. What a career, man! But where did the traditional Mardi Gras colors come from? Well, you see, in 1872, to honor the Russian Grand Duke Alexei Romanov, a group of businessmen introduced the family's colors of green, gold, and purple. Purple for justice, gold for power, and green for faith. Very Russian. The following year, floats began to exclusively run in New Orleans. And in 1875, Governor Warmoth signed the Mardi Gras Act, which decreed Fat Tuesday as an official holiday in Louisiana, which remains in effect to this day. Well, let's all just take a breath, because that was a lot on Mardi Gras history. I'm not going to lie. And stay tuned for more as Lorelai and Megan are about to talk about the history of all-female Mardi Gras crews.
What's your favorite Mardi Gras parade, Megan?
That's a hard one since there's so many good ones, but I have to say it's gotta be Muses. They throw beautifully decorated shoes.
Oh, I love that parade. The shoes are always so amazing, and they're definitely something to covet. As we mentioned before, Muses is one of the several all-female crews. And, of course, it's one of the favorites. But did you know that all-female crews are more of a recent thing? Well, recent if you think about how old Mardi Gras is. The first all-female crew was the crew of Venus that debuted in 1941. But it wasn't as amazing as the parades are now. That first year, it actually rained. And men also followed the route and pelted the riders with rotten tomatoes.
Throwing rotten tomatoes is actually a thing? Wow.
But the women actually had a great time anyway. And when Mardi Gras returned after World War II, Venus rode again.
Go crew of Venus! It actually wasn't until a few years later in the 1960s that more all-female crews joined Venus. This includes Helios, Diana, Isis, Pandora, Cleopatra, and Eve. Some of those are still riding to this day, including Cleopatra and Isis.
Muses and Nyx didn't join the party until 2000. Muses actually began as an open membership policy, and the popularity of the parade soared. Today, there are over 1,500 members, and of course, they're known for their signature throw, the hand-decorated shoe.
They're also the first female crew to parade uptown.
Crew of Nyx was formed after Muses to relieve some of the stress from the waiting list for Muses, because, there is a waiting list. And they also have a coveted signature throw, decorated purses.
Crew of Athena is the most recent all-female crew forming in 2014. I think it's safe to say that Mardi Gras would not be the same without these amazing all-female crews.
I think you're right, and we definitely have Venus to thank for persevering through rotten tomatoes.
Join us up next for a tutorial on how to make bead dogs. It's not just enough for us to pelt each other with beads from moving elevated platforms. We also get to make things out of those beads, and bead dogs are something that everyone knows how to make and loves.
Okay, but not everyone knows how to make them.
Maybe I shouldn't assume that. But they're really easy to make, and I can't tell you how many times I've made them throughout the years.
Yeah, me too.
So there's actually 2 ways you can make them. This first way is probably the easiest. Okay, so what we're going to start with is we're going to start with 5 beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to take the end one and the 5th one and tie them together so there's at least 4 on the bottom and a tail. So that's one part of your leg, and then you're going to skip 1 from the body. And then you're going to do 5 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to take this bead right here and the 5th one and tie it up. So like this. So there's 2 hind legs, a body, and a tail. Now for the head, you're going to do the same exact thing. You're going to skip 1 and you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to take this and you're going to tie it right there. Oh, I messed up. See, don't do what I just did. So you're going to take 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take this one, line it up right here. So make sure there's at least 4 for the head, legs, and the legs. So it's going to look like that. And then you're going to cut off the rest of the beads. So how I'm going to do this is I am going to do this. Just kind of might take a while. Oh, and so. Okay, so there's the small one and the large one.
I can never get over how cute these things are. But that's not the only way. I mean, I learned it about 5 minutes ago a different way.
Well, I did mention there's 2 ways you could do it.
Yeah, you did. So the way I learned it is similar up until. So the second way to do this is you basically do the same thing Megan did up until the head, like I said earlier. So you count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Twist it. Make sure there's 4 at the bottom. Right now there's 3, so I must go like that. Twist it until it clicks, like this. Skip 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You twist it again, you do the same thing, get the legs. Now, this is where it switches a little bit. So instead of counting 5 again, you're going to count 3, twist off the beads, which I have mine already done. You're going to take the 2 that you twisted off, like right here, and you're going to place them. You're going to place them, not drop them. Place them here, twist them on, and then you'll twist off your excess so that it's an actual dog. And I mean, that's pretty much it. Simple enough. There's a little dog. Got the big dog right here. Which one do you think is cuter?
Obviously it's mine. It has the little pointy ears.
If you guys have any other bead creatures or things that you like to make, leave an idea in the comments. We'd love to learn other things to make. And speaking of dogs, Megan, don't you have a Toby's Friends?
Actually, I do, and nice transition, by the way. Today we have Huck, a coon-hound mix, and it's as sweet as can be. His absolute favorite thing to do is cuddle, so if you're looking for a big hound dog to cuddle with, Huck's your guy. He gets along with other dogs, so he'll do well with some doggy siblings. He also loves kids, is housebroken, and walks great on a leash.
So he basically sounds like the perfect dog.
I'd say. If you're interested in Huck, Check him out at takepauserescue.org.
Well, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it.
We definitely delved in deep into the history of Mardi Gras.
Okay, so I'm never using that word around you again.
You better not. You're not around me all the time, you know. How can I be sure you're not using it then, huh? When you could just say, you know, something simpler like dig.
Whatever. Whatever, Jackson. You know, I personally like the word delve.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad
Next
you did.
week, we're going to get into an oldie but a goodie. Shoebox floats.
Ooh, I remember those.
I don't think I've done one of those since like first grade.
Oh, I remember mine.
Me, Megan, and Jackson are going to decorate our shoebox floats, and the audience is going to have to vote on whose is the best.
Oh God, oh no.
The loser has to buy a king cake for us.
What? I have to buy something if I lose? Well, what do I get if I win?
King cake, obviously.
Done
Plus,
deal.
I guess bragging rights.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun.
Tune in next week to see me beat Jackson at Mardi Gras shoebox floats.
Hey, I'm a contender too.
I don't care if I lose to you though, Megan. I mean, I just want to beat Jackson.
I just want to beat both of you and get cake out of both of you for free. Oh, so I'm going to win.
That's it for this episode. I'm Lorelai.
And I'm Jackson. Who's going to win?
We'll catch you around the hive.
Bye.